Hello parents, I just wanted to give you a quick update on what we are doing in science class. So we have started on Monday this new system. It's called the Mastery Grid method, and it is truly individualized learning for your learner. And what I've noticed is a lot of us are working at different paces, which is perfectly fine. And so I started implementing this grid method, and I just wanted to update you on what it looks like. So this is a printed out copy of what the grid is. Every one of your learners has one of these as a digital copy right now. And as you go through it, there are different levels. So right now we're all starting on level 1 here, and it's the recall section. And they're just learning about gravity and friction. And I have a series of videos that they watch and they answer comprehension questions as they go through. This gives me immediate feedback on what your learner understands and what maybe I need to pull them over aside for, and we can talk about misconceptions, but I can see exactly where each learner is at right now in their learning and if they are truly mastering the content. So as they go through, they'll start at level 1 and then they start in the A section. And once they have done all that, then they move themselves over to the B section and C, and so on and so forth. Now, once they get to the last column at the end of the grid, this is where I have a formative assessment. And I'm just going to assess, okay, they've done all this work in this level, do they really understand it? And then they will come talk to me, and I give them a link to a quiz. And they take the quiz, and if they get 80% mastery, I tell them that they level up, and they can move on to the next level, which is level 2 right here, and they work through these modules. This allows all the learners to work at their self-pace, and don't worry about, if I know it's individualized learning, and you might be thinking, well, is my learner going to be interacting with other students? And I thought about that too. So you can see the highlighted sections. These are these are certain sections in the grid where I'm going to pull all the learners back together, and we're still going to have that direct instruction, but then small group as well. So they will be doing labs together. They will be working through guided inquiry lessons where I'll give them a question, and then they're going to be in their cooperative learning groups talking, discussing about the question I posed to them, and they'll still get to interact with their peers. So that is generally the framework of the grid. Now I expect every single learner to make it to level 3 in this last section, L. This is where the test is for our gravity and friction unit. And once they get to that point, some learners might get to it really quick. Some others might take a little extra time. It's fine. I've told them multiple times, it's okay. We all work at our own pace. And once they get to this section, if they get here quick and we still have time within this unit, they can move on to extend their learning, which is another kind of like deeper understanding of the topic that I will give them. And then if they finish that, then they can move on to level 5, which is enrichment. And all of them want to get to enrichment because I have an egg drop lab that they will be completing. So that is kind of their end goal, is to hopefully complete the whole grid. Now, as I'll be checking for all their knowledge of what they're comprehending throughout the unit, they have a digital form of this, but this is kind of like their challenges, and I tell them on the next slide, because this is all in Google Slides for them, they put in their answers, and then they can check on the next slide their answers. I've already put them in there. Now, I know what you're thinking. Aren't they going to cheat and just put in the answers? But here's the thing. I tell them, I'm checking to see at the end for your assessment. If you can't pass this assessment, then I know that you don't understand the material. So you have to go back and continue. Then they're going to work with like small group with me, and a lot of them love that it's a privilege to work at your own pace. So what they're going to be doing is they're going to be taking their learning into their own hands, and they're going to be assessing themselves. So if they're going through and they get one of these questions wrong and they see it on the next page, they're either going to be like, why did I get that wrong? And they're going to research the question themselves, or they might pull me over and we can have a discussion together about why the answer is the way it is. And that will help cement in their learning so much deeper than just kind of going through like, okay, well, I don't know this question, I'm going to move on. So it kind of takes ownership in their learning. Another thing is to keep them accountable for their learning. I have a Google Sheet where all their names are in it for their class period, and they are responsible to go through and they are going to show me their progression of learning through that so I can see at any moment in time during class where each learner is. They can also see each other's progress as well. And how that works is, say a learner has a question about something, they're not exactly getting a gravity concept, and they see that another learner in the class is at the same section as them. They could go over to that learner and they could essentially work together and collaborate in order to work through the problem together. So that's hopefully to promote collaboration amongst learners as well. So we are technically only on day 2 of this so far. So far I've had positive feedback from learners. They really like this. They love looking at their own pace, and they like seeing their progress, and they like, I like it a lot more because it frees me up to work more one-on-one with the learners. We'll see how it goes, but I just wanted to update you on what's going on in our class. As always, if you have any more questions or if you're curious as to what else they're doing, always check on my Blackboard page, ask your learner where to go for the Mastery Grid, and I'm sure they'll be happy to show you. So, if you have any more questions, don't hesitate to email me. Have a wonderful day.